Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Russell Higgins and I'm the Chairman of Argo Global Listed Infrastructure Limited, or Argo Infrastructure, or ALI for short. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I'm pleased to welcome you to the 9th Annual General Meeting of the company and to report on its operations and financial results for the year ended 30 June 2024. It's pleasing to be able to meet here in person in Adelaide, and I see quite a number of shareholders here and a few visitors, so welcome to you all. Before we begin the formalities, I'd like to inform you that the meeting is being filmed and streamed live on the company's website for the shareholders who are unable to attend. A recording of the meeting will also be available via our website later in the day. And can I please request that you turn your mobile phones to silent? Thank you. I've been informed by the Company Secretary that the meeting has been convened in accordance with the Corporations Act and the Company Constitution. A quorum is present, and therefore I declare the meeting open. There is a disclaimer on the screen before you, and it's important to understand that the information being presented today is general information only and is not a securities recommendation or statement of opinion intended to influence any person in making investment decisions. You should seek professional independent advice when you're making any major investment decision. I'm pleased to ask my fellow non-executive directors, our Managing Director and Company Secretary, to introduce themselves to the meeting.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, shareholders and guests. My name is Sarah Brennan. I was appointed to the board on the 1st of July 2024 as an independent non-executive director, and I'm also a member of the Audit and Risk Committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Hall. I've been an independent non-executive director of the board and chair of the Audit and Risk Committee since November 2019.
Good afternoon. My name is Fiona Hill. I was appointed to the board in 2022 as an independent non-executive director, and I'm a member of the Audit and Risk Committee.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jason Beto. I'm the Managing Director of Argo Infrastructure. I've been with the company since IPO. I'm also the Managing Director of Argo Investments. So welcome.
And I'm Tim Binks. I'm the Company Secretary of Argo Infrastructure, starting at IPO with Jason. I'm also Chief Operating Officer of Argo Investments.
Thanks very much, team. I'd also like to introduce to you Ben Morton, who's the Senior Portfolio Manager from Cohen & Steers in New York, which manages Argo's infrastructure's portfolio. Cohen & Steers manages over $100 billion of investments for a range of clients around the world, and were pioneers in the development of the global listed infrastructure asset class. Given the time difference to New York, Ben has recorded some commentary regarding the global infrastructure sector and our portfolio, which we will hear later in the meeting. I'll now move on to the meeting procedures. All resolutions at this AGM will be decided by a poll. As chairman, I have called that poll. When registering your attendance, you will have received either a blue, orange, or white admission card. Shareholders or proxy holders representing shareholders were issued with blue admission cards and are entitled to vote on the poll and also to ask questions at the meeting. On the reverse side of your blue admission card is your voting paper and instructions. Only those shareholders with blue cards have received voting paper. This can be marked at a time we consider each resolution or at any other stage in the meeting. After the meeting, you can place your completed cards in one of the ballot boxes at the rear. The results of the poll will be released by announcement to the ASX later in the day. Holders of orange cards are non-voting shareholders, such as a joint shareholder when the other joint shareholder holds the blue voting card. These card holders do not vote by poll, but are entitled to ask questions in the meeting. All visitors were issued with white cards and are not entitled to vote or to ask questions at the meeting, but you are very welcome here today. The minutes of the 2023 AGM were confirmed as a correct record at the subsequent meeting of directors. The notice of meeting for this year's AGM has been circulated to shareholders, and I propose to take it as read. We now move to the first item of business. The audited financial statements of the company and the reports of directors and the auditor for the year ended 30 June 2024 have been published and made available to shareholders. In the course of receiving and considering the financial reports, I will now make some general comments about the year under review. This will be followed by a brief address from our Managing Director, Jason Beddow, and the Portfolio Manager's commentary from Ben Morton at Cohen & Steers. During the 2024 financial year, global infrastructure stocks generated a positive return, although they were significantly lagging broader equity markets as investors favoured growth-style stocks. The higher for longer interest rate environment across many of the world's major economies also weighed on the asset class, particularly electric utilities, which comprise nearly half the benchmark index. Against this challenging backdrop, Argo Infrastructure delivered a profit of $12.8 million, but more importantly, our global portfolio of listed infrastructure companies generated income of $14.9 million, up 3.8% from the previous year. In an environment of persistently high inflation, we believe the increased income we receive from our investment portfolio demonstrates the benefit of inflation-linked pricing mechanisms, which allow many infrastructure businesses to increase their user fees in line with inflation. In August, the board was pleased to declare a record high fully franked dividend of 5 cents per share. Together with the interim dividend of 4 cents per share, annual fully franked dividends increased to 9 cents per share, another record high for the company. Since Argo Infrastructure's inception, dividends paid to our shareholders now total 57.75 cents per share. Importantly, our most recent dividend marks the company's 13th consecutive fully franked dividend. Our established track record of delivering franked dividends underscores a key benefit of Argo Infrastructure's listed investment company structure. When the company pays tax on profits and realised gains in Australia, we generate imputation credits for our shareholders. Investing in overseas assets directly or via a trust structure does not provide this advantage. Following a challenging period, the new financial year has seen something of a reversal in the fortunes for global infrastructure stocks. In the first 3 months of this financial year, the benchmark index gained 9.4% amid growing expectations that the world's largest economy, the United States, would enter a new monetary policy easing cycle. As we know, in mid-September, the US Federal Reserve cut the official rate by a larger than expected 50 basis points. Argo Infrastructure has also performed well since the start of the new financial year, with the portfolio increasing by 10.9% in the September quarter. Over the same period, our share price rose by 18.8%, narrowing our share price discount to net tangible asset significantly. For the 12 months to 30 September, Argo Infrastructure's portfolio has gained 24%, outperforming the benchmark index by 4.2%. In fact, our portfolio has outperformed the benchmark index over all time periods to 30 September 2024. In our view, Argo Infrastructure's current share price discount to NTA is partly a function of the recent underperformance of infrastructure stocks relative to broader equities, following sharp increases in interest rates, which remain high. However, as central banks worldwide begin to continue cutting official interest rates, it's reasonable to expect that returns from global infrastructure stocks will revert to long-term averages. At the same time, listed investment companies across the ASX are trading at larger than average share price discounts to NTA. One of the main factors driving this trend is the increased relative appeal of cash investments due to higher interest rates now available on term deposits and other cash investments. We believe that Argo Infrastructure's current share price discount to NTA is largely cyclical due to these two factors. Nevertheless, we remain focused on ensuring the company's share price better reflects the value of its underlying investments by continuing to implement a range of initiatives. These include buying the shares required for allocation to participants in the dividend reinvestment plan and the dividend share substitution share plan, buying them on market rather than issuing new stock. Additionally, Argo Infrastructure has an on-market buyback facility in place to be used when deemed appropriate. Pleasingly, two external research houses have again recognised Argo Infrastructure's track record. Following an extensive research and review process, independent investment ratings firm Lonsec recently published its 2024 report on the company and reaffirmed its recommended rating for the fourth year in a row. Independent Investment Research, or IIR, has also maintained its recommended rating for the company. Both reports can be read in full on our website in the News and Insights section. I now want to talk a little bit about the governance of the company. As part of the board's succession plan, non-executive director Mr. Joycelyn Morton retired from Argo Infrastructure's board on 30 June 2024 after more than 9 years of service. Joycelyn was one of our inaugural directors and played a key role in Argo Infrastructure's initial public offering and successful ASX listing in 2015. Her strong financial expertise and team-first approach were of great value to the company. On behalf of the board, I'd like to take this opportunity to formally thank Joycelyn, who's here today, for her tireless work and contributions to Argo Infrastructure. Thanks, Joycelyn. Ms. Sarah Brennan was appointed an independent non-executive director with effect from 1 July 2024, and I'm pleased to introduce her to shareholders today. She's an experienced executive and non-executive director with more than 30 years of experience in financial services, including in financial planning, superannuation and banking. Sarah is standing for election today, and you'll hear more from her later in the meeting. Earlier this year, we announced that our Chief Financial Officer, Andrew Hill, would be retiring. At the end of August, we farewelled Andrew. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank him for his dedicated service to Argo Infrastructure since its inception. In that time, Andrew's diligence and expertise greatly benefited the company and our shareholders. On behalf of Argo Infrastructure, I wish Andrew all the very best in his retirement. Stephen Mortimer was subsequently appointed CFO to both Argo Infrastructure and Argo Investments, having been promoted from the position of Finance Officer. Stephen joined Argo in 2012 and over the last 9 years has worked closely with the Chief Financial Officer on all aspects of Argo Infrastructure's finances and financial reporting. He is a certified practicing accountant and a graduate of the Institute of Company Directors. I'm pleased to formally introduce Stephen to our shareholders today. I now turn to the outlook. As the world's major central banks transition to monetary policy easing, global infrastructure stocks can expect significant tailwinds. The asset class is also poised to benefit from a number of other themes shaping the global economy, such as the anticipated surge in low emissions energy demand, which will be a boon for electric and gas assets. Shortly, Ben Morton, our portfolio manager at Cohen & Steers, will discuss these and other trends and opportunities for listed infrastructure companies in a pre-recorded video from New York. As we approach the 10th anniversary of Argo Infrastructure's listing on the ASX, we remain focused on delivering returns for our shareholders consisting of capital growth and dividend income from our global portfolio of listed infrastructure companies. While market participants' sentiment towards the asset class has waxed and waned over time, we are pleased that our portfolio has delivered an average return of 8.7% per annum since inception, with less volatility than the broader equity markets. Argo's infrastructure remains in a solid financial position with approximately $450 million of assets and no debt. I'd like to conclude by thanking our Managing Director, Jason Beddoe, and his team for their continued excellent performance and hard work in running the company. I would also like to thank Ben Morton and the team at Cohen & Steers who've done a sterling job as portfolio managers. I'd also like to thank my fellow board members for their insightful and valuable contributions to the company over the past year. More importantly, I thank you, our loyal shareholders, and to our new shareholders, welcome to Argo Infrastructure. That concludes my address, and I now call on Jason Beddoe to give his Managing Director's address. Thank you.